evening, everybody. Thank you. Firstly, I'm so proud that so many people have turned up here tonight to welcome the new owners. And so thank you all for turning up. It's really great. I'm going to introduce everyone over. Today is the first day that I've met everybody, so I'm hoping I've got the names right. But we've got Paul, we've got Matt, we've got Dan, we've got Morgan, and we've got Brad. Oh, not Brian. Brian! Gentlemen, welcome to Dagenham Redbridge. We've actually got the whole show around today. We've had the whole tour today. We've been around the whole club and the buildings, and I hope they're impressed. But I'm going to hand over to Dan, who's the club's new chairman. For him to say a few words, and then we're going to open up the floor, as we always do for a fans forum, for questions and answers. So Dan, over to you.
Thanks, Nick. And thank you for the bottom. Great. Hey, so thank you all for coming, and thank you, Steve, for the kind introduction. I'm actually pretty wowed by the number of people here. I think it's fantastic and a testament to the passion you guys all clearly have for Dagenham. We certainly hope to channel that to win on the field over the next few years. My name is Daniel Hall. I'm a partner in Block 6 Group with my partners here, and Matt, Morgan, Paul, and Brian. And we're super excited to be coming into Dagenham, coming into hopefully bring Dagenham back to where it should be, which this was a League One club. My personal view is that should be the short-term objective again, and then we'll see where we go from there. We're really excited, and we have high standards for our group as well. We have a track record of getting teams promoted as we've done in Italy, and we hope to replicate that here. Really excited about the team we're building. Hopefully we're giving tools to do really well next year. And I know James can't be here, he's on holiday right now, but he's been working hand in glove with them. Those guys are creating a fantastic team. I'm really optimistic for the year. With that, I'll pass it over to my partners who can introduce themselves as well. But just wanted to say we're really happy to be here, and we're looking forward to winning together.
Bradley here. I'm just going to take a quick silent moment because this is kind of like a dream. To be part of this club, be hyper-focused, laser-focused, restored to its glory. What you guys all have built here as fans, it's incredible. We want to honor that, we want to build upon it. The reason we're here doing this is because we believe feedback is a gift, even if it's harsh. So we want to hear from you as well. We get to the Q&A afterwards. But we want to hear it. We may not implement everything or do everything, but we're going to listen. We're taking notes. And we're just, this is awesome. What we did in Italy, we hope to replicate here or exceed it. And you've got the team in front of you here that's committed to doing it. So don't be bashful with feedback. I've heard you're not. But a little bit about me. I'm an aerospace engineer by day. I'm a pub crawler by night. And I love football. I think it's one of the most beautiful sports, most successful sports, and it's just highly competitive and awesome. So again, it's a dream. Thanks for letting me play a part of it. We'll do our best not to get you. Thanks.
Great to meet everybody. My name is Morgan Harris. You can refer to me as Captain Morgan if you please. Moving forward, that's not my favorite drink. I also was feedback I was drinking the shittiest beer that we get on tap right now. So my background is I've been building tech companies and software companies for the past 25 years. Matt and I met in 2012. He was running a marketing agency. I actually hired him to run PR for one of the companies I was selling. We became very good friends, and then fast forward to 2020, Matt and I reconnected, and he expressed interest in that whole story of getting into professional football. And we joined hands at that point, and came on this journey, this mission together. And fast forward another few years, late last year, I merged my most recent company into the North Six Group and became CEO of the entire holding company. I'm just so honored to be a part of all of this with not only Matt and Dan and team, but all of you, because I think there's something really special here, and I've seen firsthand what these guys can do with distressed clubs and clubs that need a little bit more love and support, and we're here to provide that for everybody. So thank you so much. Really excited to meet each and every single one of you when we have time, and we plan to be here a lot, and we plan to win, baby.
My name is Paul Brandley. Really a pleasure to meet everyone. Lifelong football fan, football player through university, but that's where the career dream ended for me. I've had the opportunity to work with some sort of historic organizations, companies, and I realized what a privilege it is to be a caretaker for this club for a certain amount of time that existed sort of long before we came along and will exist long after we're no longer involved. And so it's both a privilege and a responsibility to sort of improve and grow. And so thank you very much for that.
My name is my name is Matt Rosetta. I'm the chairman of the North Six Group Partners, along with Brian, Dan, Morgan, and Paul. First off, it's an honor and a privilege to be here. I can't tell you how much this means to us. We also wanted to make sure we thank Peter Froning and his group for giving us this opportunity. Peter came to me personally with this opportunity about a year ago, and he was in the process of thinking through his succession plan here with Daggers, and to him, more than the financial gain, he wanted to make sure that the next generation of Daggers ownership truly represented the standards to which you as fans deserve both on and off the pitch. And he chose our group, so that's really an honor and privilege. We don't take that lightly. We're going to do our best to work our tails off to bring you a winning product both on and off the pitch. Those of you who might know a little bit about our group, it's pretty simple. Our group bets on the underdog. And we've bet on the underdog for many years now, and we can't think of a more quintessential underdog story in England than this club right here. So that's an honor for us. We're incredibly motivated by it. We're blessed to do it. In Italy, we took this club hint in the 5th tier when it started, and people in Italy looked at us and they said, "What on earth are you doing with this club in the 5th tier that literally comes from a region which in Italian translates to doesn't exist. The region doesn't exist." But we were steadfast in our belief in the people, in the fans, in the project. 2 years later, we got that club promoted twice. We're now in the 3rd tier with bigger and better aspirations. And the same people who laughed at us 2 years ago now are calling us every day that they want to join the project. So that's what we're looking to bring here. We're not going to make any crazy promises. We're going to do it the same way We've done it with all our other projects. That's by following the formula of hard work. We're going to put our heads down. We're not going to talk so much, but we're going to work our tails off, and we're going to do our best to win, or we're going to die trying. And I remember the club in Italy, fans always talked about the golden era, the golden days. In their case, in Campobasso's case, it was the 1980s. And they made it to Serie B, second tier in Italy. Coppa Italia, they beat Juventus. They had 40,000 fans in the stadium. They were playing in Stadio Olimpico. And we were really enamored with the idea of bringing the fans those memories back and then building on those memories. And here, you certainly would know those memories much better than we would, but we imagine it's Wembley, and we imagine it's competing for a League 2 championship, getting promoted to League 1, and really bringing hopes and dreams to the underdog. And that's exactly what we're going to try to bring back and build on that for the future. But we're not going to do it with our mouths open, we're going to do it with our heads down. So appreciate the opportunity to represent you. We can't wait to get to work, and hope to see you all at the stadium.
Before we get to the Q&A, I just wanted to thank Paul Gwyn for his service and announce that as part of the transition he's going to be made lifetime vice president of the club. So we're all really great. Thank you very much.
Right, we're going to open the floor up. Obviously, everybody's seen Ben at the end. You can't get away. Obviously, 2 months away from the start of the season, 4 weeks away from the first friendlies, home friendly. So, as well as asking the new ownership group questions, feel free to ask Ben any questions that you've got on the build-up of the team. That's important as well. So, on that note, who would like to be first? Gentleman at the back.
Dan in particular, very impressed with what you said, Dan, especially about being the underdogs. So could you explain a little bit more that why do you get such joy in being the underdog, or not being it, but getting away from being the underdog?
So, I think everybody likes an underdog story. Certainly we do. And there's a sense of achievement, a sense of giving back to a community, I guess, in terms of creating joy for the people that support these underdog teams. And I think Dagenham is a fantastically great club, it's a big club, but we can make it so much bigger, we can go so much higher. And actually getting to that point, I think it's going to give us some joy, and hopefully give you fans joy as well as we try to do that.
Who's next?
Can I ask, Ben, the signings that we've made, are they all your signings, or is it the... Can you explain the signings that we've made?
Yeah, thanks for that. Yes, so since these guys have come in, they've brought James in, who unfortunately can't be here tonight because he's on holiday, all prior. But one of the things that me and Steve spoke about last year when I come into the football club was their recruitment processes. Spoke about a lot of things we could do better at the football club, and these guys come in straight away with James on board, who's the sporting director, and from the first moment I've met him until where we are at now, it's really collaborative. We're trying to get the best players into coming, understanding the football club, and working with these guys, talking about bringing some younger talent in as well as established players to help us right now. So it's been a real collaborative thing. Lewis is strong on that as well. My assistant, me and him worked hard last summer together. So between James, all these guys, we've been having Zoom calls with Dan, especially every week, when we follow up on how things are going. It's been a real team effort, and we're really pleased with the recruitment so far. We're still a couple of players away from where we'd like to be. A couple of things happened out of our control. We offered Nick Tavares a new contract as soon as the season ended. Nick decided that for himself right now to go to Barnet was a better option for him, and there was no problem with that. We understood his decision and he's moved on. And then in the FBO was a bit of a longer, drawn-out process. We did make him an offer. I know he probably took to social media saying certain things, but we did make him an offer. In the same time, we were working on things behind the scenes and looking at other targets and players we could potentially bring in to make the team better moving into next season. And really and truly, we got to a point where we couldn't keep holding on, and we made decisions to bring Josh in, Reece Gregor-Cox, and Dylan Stevenson as well, into good young talent. So that was taking care of the attacking third. Worked really hard, and I can't thank them enough. Like I said, my priority at the end of the season was trying to get Dion Pereira back, and they come straight in. You guys back me, got Dion back for us, which I'm really excited about. And then obviously the centre half position with Nick Tavares leaving, we had to sort of start working on that, and we brought Trent in, who had a really good loan spell at Braintree at Eastleigh last year. I really well with games with Braintree. He's got hopefully a big future ahead of him. And Paul Callaway decided to join us through a lot of hard work, not just for myself, but a real team effort, having Zoom calls with his agent, telling him about that and what we wanted to do, and he decided to join us last week. So far so good. We still need to do a couple of bits more, which we're working really hard on, but yeah, I can't get it across enough. It's been a real team effort. It's not just been me or Lewis, it's been James, the whole group here trying to make sure we've got a competitive squad going into the next season.
I'll just jump in there as well, just to say, we rate Ben very, very highly. He's fantastic. And on top of that, just to explain something, sporting director roles is a little bit more unusual in England than it is in Europe and maybe the US. So Ben's in charge of the team, Ben's in charge of the players, Ben picks the team, Ben picks the players. Ben picks the team, Ben picks the players. James is there to be the link between the ownership and Ben, and give Ben the tools that he needs to win games and get the players he has. So Ben is in charge of the team.
What lessons have you learned from the success in Italy that you hope to repeat here? Like, have you loaned players from higher up? Has it been new players? Like, what's the strategy that has clearly worked there that hope will work here?
I think most importantly is the importance of building culture. You know, we learned, ironically in Italy, I think both seasons we had a top 5 payroll, but it wasn't quite number 1 or number 2. And we could have. It wasn't because we didn't have the financial resources, it was because we wanted to make sure we were selecting the right mix for the locker room. And we usually look to build our team like a pie, where it's a mixture of veterans, young players on loan, and then young players with whom we can grow for the future, who can become assets for the club. And it's been a successful recipe over there. Here, our goal is to replicate that in time. Obviously, we did inherit some legacy contracts, and we have a lot of confidence in the team and the squad right now. But in the future, I think that's going to be the direction that we're looking at as we build for the years ahead.
On my list, I was on your list, Keenan.
How did I know that question? Keenan is on all of our lists, but we're trying really hard with Keenan. We have to respect that he actually, from us, he went back into West Ham and he actually played in games for them as well, so his season probably finished a good 2-3 weeks after ours did. He then got the news, which we all knew was coming out, he'd been released from West Ham, so yes, we're trying with Keenan, but we also have to really appreciate that he wants to try and play as high up as he possibly can. I understand that, and I want him to explore that, and we'll let him do that at the moment, but yes, he is one of the players we are trying to get back. Yeah, we'll try. Look, I can't say, is it going to happen? I hope so, I really do, because I think you all took to him, and I spoke to him about it as well. One of my regrets of last season was he was training with us, and I was thinking, is he ready? I think I maybe took too long to put him in to show that faith in him, because from the Christmas period on, I remember he came on against Eastleigh and scored on Boxing Day, the second half of the season, and rightly by all of you can hear, voted for him as well. He's in the top 3 players of the team of the season. So, look, he had a fantastic second half of the season, and I hope that in the last time we see him in a Dagenham shirt.
What's happened to Brexit? Do you see us as being anything like that? Obviously, the club's a smaller version of that. I just wondered how you see our future with all that wrestling that's going on there.
So, Wrexham, those guys have done a fantastic job, clearly on the field level, so there's nothing like that. In terms of where we are, Wrexham's in Wales, we're in London. I would argue we have a much bigger potential. I wish Wrexham and Brian and Rob all the best luck in the world, but I'm concentrating on Dagenham, and I think we should be looking to replicate what they're doing on and off the field, because obviously off-field performance also enables us to buy better players over time as well. So yeah, I think it's done a fantastic job, and I think it's something we can certainly look at in Dagenham as well. But I think the platform in Dagenham is bigger than the platform in Wrexham, simply because of the size of the club and the size of the city, really.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're doing work on the floor, on the pitch. What about the match day experience? Is there any plans? I've got 8 season tickets, of which only 2 are adults, so I bring a lot of my boys with me and their friends. Are you doing anything for the kids, like on match days or anything like that? Yeah.
Yes, so we're just getting our feet under the table right now and working out what the lie of the land is in terms of what the match day experience is right now. Certainly we're focused on creating a family-friendly atmosphere and also an atmosphere that children want to come to games as well, because frankly, kids are the future fans, and so if you have kids who are coming to the games when they're 5, 6, 7, 8, then they're going to be Dagenham fans for life, and that's exactly what we want. If you've got ideas, happy to hear them in terms of the match day experience. But certainly, as I said, I'll be here for the West Ham game, my first game at Daggers, and I'll certainly be looking and seeing what we're doing, and if I've got any ideas to improve it, if I've got any ideas to improve the match day experience, we'll certainly be looking to do that as well.
Just one thing, I just want to add one thing on what Dan said too that reminds me. From speaking to Peter, we understood that the youth academy was sort of, that we divested a little bit from the youth academy when we got relegated from League 2 to National League. So that's a big part of our strategy, is to reinvest in homegrown talent. Right here to the gentleman's question earlier in terms of what our plans are for the future, you're looking at the East London catchment area from a talent standpoint. It's incredibly talent rich, so we're going to get after that aggressively. We're going to invest in the community. We're going to try to keep as much homegrown talent right here with the Daggers as we possibly can.
That you tackle off and leave like the previous owners or we can build on that and do the right things. I mean, you're doing great so far, but 3 years in a row, we might still be doing things as a business, so is that you've gone or are you here to
No, we're here for the long term. I think I may have mentioned in one of the releases, I'm actually from the Medway Towns originally, so I'm actually pretty close to Dagenham, across the border in Kent, but nonetheless pretty close. So I personally feel this is some kind of a homecoming. I really care about the team. I know my partners do too. And frankly, you've got to expect in sports, whether you're an owner or a fan or a player, there's ups and downs. We're going to win some games, we're going to lose some games. Sometimes we'll lose more than we win. That's just the way it is, and then we obviously try and minimise that. But I don't think if we go for a run of less than stellar success, does that mean we're going to pack up and leave? Absolutely not. We we've doubled down and worked harder and turn it around. And so, yes, if your question is in 2 years' time, are we going to be down here and still in the National League? No, we'll be here and we'll be working harder than before to get us out of the National League. It takes more effort and more work than we were doing at the time. So, we're going to
That was in the dressing room, that was really a 10-pound time.
How long have you been looking to invest in an English club and what encouraged you to invest here rather than anywhere else?
Can you repeat that?
How long have you been looking to invest in an English club and why here rather than anywhere else?
So here, as I said, I think when you look at the prospect for on-field success and the prospect for growth, Dagenham really stuck out to us as a great opportunity. We get quite a lot of deal flow in terms of potential clubs for sale across the world. As part of our network, we've kind of known that we're in the business of acquiring, running, and making sports teams win. So there's a lot of inbounds we get, and 95% of those inbounds are kind of straight in the rubbish bin. Dagenham really stood out to us as a great opportunity to, as I said, to create a community project that wins on the field, that can grow the potential, as Matt said, in East London, both from a fan base perspective as well as the availability of technical great players from the locality is very, very attractive. And then we're here to win, and those features of Dagenham are going to help us win, and that's why we chose Dagenham. Thanks, that's great feedback.
Yeah, I was going to say, are there any plans to sort of establish any special relationships with higher tier clubs to try and get more academy players through the door here?
Short answer is yes. I think that's one of our key areas of potential growth in the squad, technical quality. There's a lot of potential Premier League academy players that don't quite make it at the Premier League. It will be fantastic here. And we're playing Premier League teams pre-season. So I'm going to be here to meet my equivalents at West Ham and hopefully develop that relationship. But for sure, in common with the other teams that we have at the club underdog, we focus heavily on youth development and frankly taking players that didn't quite make it to the Premier League academies here is squarely within that target. So an easy way, low-hanging fruit in terms of actually being able to get great players that we can develop and make winning team.
What are you going to be doing with large advertisement around the local area? Because pretty much people come to foot like that, and they've said they didn't know there was a stadium there, they would have thought anything else. Like you're going to put some stuff around the station or something, just to point more people in the direction of the ground.
Yeah, that's certainly something to look at. Raising the profile of the club is certainly one of our aims, and for sure our advertising gets you there. We also plan to revitalise the social media aspect and the website aspect of the club. The non-sporting side of North 6 is squarely within that realm. It's PR and creative and advertising type business. So that's squarely within the skill set of the partnership here, and we intend to definitely raise the profile of the club. So everybody wins that.
The short answer to that is that Els is #1 goalkeeper. It's really hard at our level to have anyone to back him up. Josh Shrewsbury just signed a new contract with us, and he's been going out on loan, doing extremely well on every loan he's had. He's brilliant in training as well, so usually as he can get better all the time. Look, we don't envision anything happening to Els over the course of the season, but I think we'll take it on merit as it happens over the season. If Shrewsbury was out on loan with someone else got injured, Daniel's talking about it there. The links we've got with the higher division clubs now potentially look to get someone in on loans, and I think a lot of teams at our level do that. There's not too many teams that are able to carry two really good goalkeepers at our level, and it's been one of the best goalkeepers in it's ever for a long time with our club captain. So moving forward beyond that, I know Els can't play forever, so we're always going to be on the lookout for obviously young talent coming through that maybe one day will take his place with Ashes or someone else. But for the short term right now, it's going to be Elliot Justin and Josh Shrewsbury for next season.
Going back a few years, it's not been a great time here, but if things do go well, you do get a good club, a good fan base around you that can really push on. So, in my mind, as we all progress, this will go a lot further and be more positive. In my mind, I'm sure anyway. And obviously, I really want that. So, when we go forward as one, we can become a lot more bigger and a lot more successful together, as we are now.
Completely agree. Yeah, I think on the field success makes the club bigger, and it's almost like a snowball rolling down the hill. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then if we know you're a huge club that's winning all the time, and talk about League One as the initial objective. We'll work the hardest to get to there, and then see where we can go from there.
Simon, what do you want the fans to do to help push the club? Not just us asking you, what do you want to...
I want you guys to show up to games. I want you to cheer and yell and chant and make the Victoria Road Stadium, make it a fortress where away teams are afraid to come. And as you said, in return, we'll do our best to win.
It's not football related, but I just wanted to know if they don't what gets you guys up in the morning, obviously you've got a few buttons. So apart from coffee, a nagging wife or a dog, what's your drive to get up in the morning?
I'll answer quickly and I'll pass it around and everyone can have their piece. Coffee certainly gets me up, and then frankly, football in the US is a morning affair. So I watch Premier League games, La Liga games, Serie A games, Dagenham games now, Campbell games, but they're all very early in the morning, and oftentimes too early for Pacific time. So what gets me up in the morning is football usually.
Bradley here. The thing that gets me jacked and excited is building greatness. And I love the underdog story, both in football and you can apply it in other ways in your life, right? And just if you can put people together, people are everything. Fans, players, owners, the team, the people behind the scenes that are making the magic all happen. It's just incredible when it's all pointing in the same direction. To a common goal, a North Star, or something like that's something you want to be a part of. You want to wake up and contribute to in some way. I really appreciate Dad over here. Dad asked the question, what can the fans do? Thank you. I knew you were dead. But yeah, and that's what gets me excited. Like to be part of something meaningful, give back. That's what we're trying to do. It's kind of our ethos, thesis of what we're doing. You know, it's awesome to be able to set a tip ceremony or one team. We're going to do it. That gets me excited. I don't need coffee.
What gets me up in the morning, quite literally, are my kids. So I've got 4 of them, including a 1.5-year-old little girl, and she's literally getting me up early morning. But in all seriousness, I mean, they're my driving force for everything. That's why we work our asses off for our family. And I think it's important to know that we aren't in this just for fun. We're in this because we care, and we're highly, highly, highly motivated family men up here. And for me, that's the #1 driver. It gets me up doing everything I do every single day for the past 25 years since I started companies.
I would echo what Ryan said. It's the challenge, and I think the challenge motivates us. And if you look at it from a footballing perspective, taking a team from the 5th tier to the 3rd tier shows character, shows courage, shows grit, hard work. Anybody can take a club that's already, in the top tier and just kind of keep them in the top tier. Obviously, there's budget variables and all that stuff. But I think taking a club from the 5th tier to the 3rd tier is an incredible accomplishment. And I think the sense of achievement is what drives us as a group.
Yeah, I'll echo what Morgan said. 3 little boys at home. And so, doing something professionally that they can understand, that they can wrap their mind around. And if we're successful in doing that, that would make me really proud because they would get it. And so I find that very rewarding.
Plans to rebrand the company, like to that new website, I'm a software engineer there, a new kit, new sportswear, an actual sporty boot socks, which are a ring for boy.
Look, I mean, we're assessing everything right now. We have some of the greatest designers and creatives in the world under our roof, the North 6 Group. So yeah, we're gonna level up everywhere. I don't intend to rebrand necessarily Dagenham and the Daggers, to an extent where it's unrecognizable. Certainly not. We love Dagenham, but there are things that can be greatly improved, like the website. There are things that can be improved, although I do think that the young fellow I met earlier today is doing a phenomenal job in social. We can level that up as well and work with him with our teams on the social side. But we have all the resources in-house to do some really incredible things for this club, and that's a big differentiator in Club Underdog and the North 6 Group being an owner of this club than someone else that comes in that maybe just has deep pockets, right? It's a real game changer. You guys can experience it firsthand.
At the back,
Welcome to the club. Thank you for that next season. Good luck next season. Thanks for last season. It's the best feeling about the club and that team twice you come in. Like to the new guys, you said you sort of see feedback. The biggest criticism of the last ownership was they was very distant from what was going on around the club. So you might see them once or twice a season. The fans for last year, we had half an hour of Peter Floyd on the screen, then he wouldn't take off. There was no way to get sort of points across or feeding across to them. Or we can be seeing you around the club, is there good ways to, sort of like day-to-day ways to get feedback yourselves?
Yeah, I'm going to be around to set up against the West Ham game, so back again in July. I'll also be here for the first game of the season, do that on the 10th of August or 17th of August, depending on how the fixture list works out. And I'll be here throughout the year, and you should expect to see me around, and my partner will be around as well, time to time.
You talked about getting feel good facts and back to the club and everything. Are you going to do anything on the social side for the evenings, things like that? Because not a lot goes on down in the evenings. Any ideas about improving that?
Sure, certainly. I was actually really impressed with the bar we have here. I didn't realize. Yeah, but the bar here that's open every day is great, and I think it's a fantastic social scene to have down here. And as I said, we just arrived, just getting our feet under the table. If you have ideas as to any social events that you'd like to see put on, by all means, let us know, and we can work on that. But yeah, we want to create a community. We want to create a culture where the whole community can come behind as well.
Guys, welcome to the East London Football Club, Redbridge and so forth. I've got a questions on the player side of things. It's been great to see the recruitment's been going on, the activities been going on, and you're talking about your high and game filling the place where you want to. Although, when you look back at the history of some of these players that signed potentially injury prone, so maybe we'll take the best account down. Last season, we was about second chance, so this would be second chance for these guys, which is all well and good. But what about squad depth? If those gambles don't work out, are you concerned about squad depth? Last season, there was a couple of times when we only had 2 or 3 players on the bench. We were really hanging when we had the injury bit. So are we looking for any kind of insurance there? But for the general group, you spoke about a few things as like where you want to attract players in from either academy graduates that haven't worked out, premiership clubs, people that are at the end of their careers being released. But there's a lot of clubs that have probably got that philosophy of this level, trying to get those people in. So what is it, how are you going to attract them to Dagenham? How are you going to get them in and get the best out?
Yeah, so the first part of it, yes, with the players we signed, myself, James, Lewis, the whole group, we've looked into things. We feel like we've got better depth in the attacking area. We felt like last year we struggled, particularly in the attacking third of the pitch, with numbers and quality in that area. Joshua Murrah had an injury last season that made he missed a lot of games for Hartlepool, but this time last year he had a 100 grand bid from Gillingham trying to take him away from Hartlepool. So we feel like his injury, we've done a medical with him, we looked over it, we feel like he's in a good place. We feel like we can be the place for him to have a real good season. He wanted to move back to London, so that's a big part of it as well. And Lewis worked with Reece Gregor Cox at Crawley, knows him really well. He had another, not last year, the year before, but working when they made the playoffs, had a really good season. Himself last year had a few injury problems as well. Went to see a specialist, he feels like he's in a really good place as well. So I can understand maybe a little bit of worry about the injury situation with them guys, but we feel like we've done a lot of homework with them, we've done medicals with them everything we possibly can. And we also feel like with Dylan Stevenson coming in as well from Newcastle, we've got loads of South Shields, we've got a bit more depth in that area as well. Everywhere else across the team, we feel like we're in a pretty good place. Paul Calabari was a bit last year, just wasn't getting selected by us even with them, so I think his isn't too much to worry about. So I think really the two main big question marks will be around them too, but we feel like we've added depth in that area to make it better. Reece obviously pushed further forward last year to help in that area as well. We want to keep Hilly fit, because when Hilly was fit on the pitch last year, his numbers were really good. And the same with Dion, so we feel like we've added a lot more players in that area. But look, with all these guys, you never know. We go into the season hoping they're going to be alright. We're going to really work with them hard pre-season and across the season to make sure they're ready to go. But we feel like we've got the depth behind it just in case anything goes wrong. And I think I can speak about it, it's going to lead on to it. We are looking at working out a little development group as well, because Steve knows that one of my big things when I come back, it wasn't just about making sure the team was better on the pitch. I'm really big on wanting to get the academy back up and running as well. I'm passionate about getting it back running and developing players for us. Pretty short term, we're going to probably look at a bit of a development route, some younger boys leaving either academy teams or playing for step 3, step 4 teams. We're doing a bit of a trial game next Friday where we're going to look at some emerging talent. James is going to look at it as well. So behind the first team group, the first year we'll have a little bit of a group of 5 or 6 players that maybe be ready to come in, if not they'll be out on loan, gaining more experience. Longer term, I think I'll speak for the guys, but we want that to turn into a Dagenham Academy again, which I think these guys, everything they're talking about, aligned with me not speaking to them before, bringing youth back, the fans' experience, and one of my teams was last year about being proud of being an underdog for the players, and these guys are coming to talk about the underdog story. I don't want to be Wrexham, I've got to be honest. I don't want.
Don't want it to be either.
Yeah, I don't want that. It's great that they're in League One now, but with Dagenham and Redbridge and John Steele and that group I was part of, 40-1 outsiders to win the National League. I'm pretty sure Wrexham were favourites to win the National League with the money they spent. I think they were pretty sure they was favourites to win League 2 last year with all the money they spent. That group with Roman Dinslot, John Nurse, Paul Betts, and they got promoted to Wembley to take this team to this club to League 1. They weren't expected to get promoted up to League 1. I want to do it that way. I want to do that's Dagenham, that's an underdog.
Thanks, man. And just on your question around recruiting, I think, you know, our vision is certainly to recruit on a global level, and being in National League right now is a little bit restricted from that standpoint because we're restricted for the most part to bring players in on English passports. So I think one thing we're going to look to do is, as we work our way up in tiers, is to show pathway. And you know, we have a great network globally of exciting young players, and these are players that we're trying to recruit that are only 1 or 2 tiers above where we're playing, and it's because we can show the pathway. You know, come play with Daggers in League 2, hopefully, and then, you know, there's a pathway to, let's say, a B club in Italy, or there's a pathway to a first-tier club in the United States, or so on and so forth. So I think that's one thing we're going to do that's probably a little bit differentiated, is just leverage our network of players and our network of clubs to show pathways and hopefully to recruit always, you know, one step above what the reality of the tier we're playing is.
All right, have we got to do Joel first?
Yeah, for the ownership group, you clearly are trying to lay foundations, particularly with the appointment of the sporting director, which is something we've wanted to see for quite a while in terms of that move. But do you have a time frame about how immediate you want success in terms of getting out of this division? Is it an immediate desire, or is it a phased thing in terms of getting stronger and stronger and then getting out more in terms of next season you want business success?
Yeah, I mean, we want to get out of the National League this year if we can. I mean, that's what we're working towards. Obviously, we can't make promises. It depends on how we perform on the field and the setup around the whole club in terms of setting it up for success. But we're going to work very, very hard to get success right out of the gate. So our expectation and hope is to have a year challenging for promotion, and fingers crossed we'll get there.
Are you going to do anything with the supporters club, like supporting them a bit more, i.e. with the away travel, the coaches? Because last season we had quite a lot of coaches. I know their supporters club do a lot, but we had a lot of coaches which were literally dropped a couple of days before a game, which some of us ended up driving or not going. So we had quite a lot of games last season that had a lot of low support.
Yeah, thanks for that feedback. Away fans are our most hardcore fans most of the time, so they're obviously very important. Something that it was, with the management here in the state.
Shut at the back, and then Jim.
My apologies, I was late. I just come off a 6-hour drive, so the question might have asked if we didn't ask before. Welcome to the family, by the way. My question was just about something that annoys me personally, which is the visibility of the club. Other than the little bit of online that we had, i.e. there's no great big sign across the street at the end of the road, there's no posters in the local shops. Those sort of things could drive up the footfall through the turnstile. So I just wondered if there was any plans to push that forward.
Yeah, I mean, the short answer is yes, absolutely. I was mentioning earlier, as far as the creative and marketing goes, we have 4 different agencies underneath our umbrella of the holding company. We plan to utilize all of them in support of Dagenham.
Okay.
When you took over the Italian side, obviously that, what do you think were the top 2 or 3 things that you did
I think the most important thing was it was top-down alignment in the organization. You know, if you look at, we talked about building culture earlier, I think that's the key. I think a lot of people oftentimes equate the squad budget with success on the pitch. And if you look at historical data, it's not the case. Very rarely is that the case. I think the most important thing is you build a top-down culture. So everybody understands the goals, they're fully aligned, they understand clearly what the objectives are. In the case of the Italian club, it was also compounded by the fact that fans were devastated. This was a club that when we bought it, it had just been put in administration from the third tier. They'd been promoted to the third tier for the first time in 32 years. They spent 1 year in the third tier, finished it right outside the playoff zone, and then were put in administration because the old ownership group had some administrative irregularities. So we had to deal with the fans after the first time in 32 years celebrating promotion. We had to get them excited about basically playing in town parks and against village teams, literally, as an amateur club. A lot of people didn't believe. And I think the most important thing is you have to show through actions that that you're going to be steadfast in your vision. You're building a culture. And around here, we look around here. There's a ton of great things going on here, and there's clearly some things that need to be improved. And I think one thing we're going to look to do is build on all the great things here, and also bring a dose of innovation and energy and enthusiasm and optimism, because you as a fan base deserve it. And I can guarantee you that everybody here, from the chairman on my left all the way on down to the grounds crew, is going to be fully aligned and fully up to speed on what our objectives are. And if there's a broken link, it will be corrected.
Yeah, I have to commend you all on the early signing so early in the club season. So important to get the team together. And Ben's already said that we still need a couple more players. Do you envisage us having trialists that we have done in the warm-up games, or do you hope to go into those friendly games, three-match games with an established squad?
I think right now it's really difficult to tell. We're starting pre-season testing next Thursday and Friday, and we start the actual pre-season with the boys on Monday the 1st. I have a hope that we might have one player in by the time that starts. If we can get two, that would be great. If not, we'll do this trial game on Friday next week, and that's really to sort of narrow down the trialists. So if there's 3 or 4, maybe more boys that really impress us in that trial game, then they'll be invited back for the Monday to start the trial period with us. We potentially will have a couple of trialists, but I feel like not only just because sitting here and seeing everyone how infused by the season everyone ahead is, I feel like we're in a better place than we was this time last year. We had I had lots of stuff going on with moving players out to be able to bring players in. Obviously, there was a turnover from the previous regime of players and stuff like that. So I feel like this summer we've done a lot of work early, and we're in a better place than we was last year. I'd say we're 90% there now. But know how important the last couple of players could be to make a difference for the season. We talked about the middle of the pitch and really important area. So there certainly may be a few trialists that you might see, particularly the A-League game, the Dulwich game. But there also might be a couple of signings by that point as well. James is away, but I know from these guys here, he's going to be on his phone, he's going to be working hard whilst he's away, and obviously I'm working hard whilst I'm here as well. So we're hopeful that we might have something next week, but if not, then we'll start with a couple of trials and we'll build as we go.
Ben, a question for you. I think everybody here would agree that the turning point of our season was around Christmas. I think the attitudes of the players really changed in a positive way. Obviously, we've lost a few core members of the squad, Nick Barres, I think, how important is it, and how do you envision making sure that the players keep that positive attitude going into the first game of the season, and new boys as well? How do you really bring on board the current squad's attitude? Because everyone knows here that those first 5-10 games really set the National League. Last year, you saw Chesterfield, Barnet, Bromley really sort of established themselves as the top 3, and nobody really pushed them from that moment.
Yeah, you're 100% right there, and it's something I spoke about. I think the start we got off to last year, I think everyone would agree, we're putting ourselves in a really tough position. Only getting a draw away at Altrincham in the first 4 games, whatever it was, and then we had that period obviously when we had some injury things win for like 8 or 9 games. We can't afford to get off that start again. And I agree with you wholeheartedly at the turn of the year, the Christmas period, even into the second half of the season. And I don't think you guys in here can underestimate the part you played in that as well. I feel like, I don't know what it was, like you were saying, whether it was the feeling that you all had, you got to know the players on the pitch, you could see what they were trying to give to you. But I felt the atmosphere changed within the stadium, the fan base, the group especially as well. Even when we were losing games of football and you expected a little bit of criticism, I felt like we could see what they were trying to do. And I've got to make sure that that carries on into this start of this season. We didn't want a massive turnover of players because of that, because we felt like we was in a good place and we felt like there was an understanding of what needed to be a Dagenham Redbridge player. A couple of things happened, which always do. You know, I spoke to the players at the end of the season and I said, we're going to make decisions this summer as a management team, as a football club where some of you may not be with us, but I also understand that some of you might choose to not be with us as well. And I wanted to keep Nick Tavares. I thought he, coming back from the ACL injury he had the season before when I took over, to the characteristics of what I see of him, not only as a player but as a person. I wanted him to be a Dagenham Redbridge player this season. Clearly Barney thought the same as well. And Nick's a great guy, but just felt that Barney may be in a better position than us right now. But I also remember a few players last year thinking their forward would be in a better position than us. From an ownership point of view, from a club point of view, I think everyone's aligned in where we want to take the football club. I certainly feel like in the space of a year, I feel like the connection is coming back between the fans and the staff and the players. I really feel that. I don't think it's been organic, it's happened naturally. I think everyone's really getting behind. These guys coming and speaking the way they are, I'm excited, I really am. I'm a custodian myself as a manager, but I'm looking at this game. Everything they're trying to do is to try and get Dagenham moving in the right direction. I'm privileged that I'm the person that's going to hopefully be the person that helps happen. I think for the long-term future of the football club, it sounds really, really positive. I got to meet Peter Freund at the Altrincham game when we beat them 3-1 at the back end of the season, and I honestly found Peter one of the nicest people I've got to meet, and I was gutted that I wasn't probably here when he first took over and really getting to work with him. But meeting all of these guys and speaking to them, I feel like they're the same as Peter. They want nothing but good for Dagenham or Redbridge, and some of them might be from, obviously I know Dan's more local, but I think they've got the best interests of the football club at heart, and that's along with me and the team and everything else. I think we've got an exciting future ahead, and I know at the start of the season we're going to lead into hopefully a good year this year, but the long-term future of this football club is really bright. That's what I feel anyway.
Right then, the question is about, you said you're going to look around your ground to improve it. But the one that pay up last season was the lack of the food that was gone down. I mean, you've got a kitchen bar there, and it's not doing nothing. One is the prices are too high, and the food's gone down. Are we going to look at that situation?
Absolutely, yeah. So we'll look at everything and increase the national experience in politics for also very much as well.
You guys clubs around the world, it's not a negative. If you are involved to make a profit, great. If we do well and you make money, everyone's kind of happy. Are you in it for that? Are you in it for fun? Are you in it for love of sport? Why have you guys as a whole decided that, yeah, we're going to put money into football clubs here, Italy, America?
Well, I can start with the answer to China as well as Royalty. I think Brian said it best, it's the creative aspect of building something. So, there is work to do here, there's a construction project here at Dagenham, and I think we all relish the opportunity of doing that. So that is the primary motive. As I said, I have some local roots, and so this club means something to me personally as well. And frankly, we're all sports nuts as well. We like sports, and I grew up with football. I probably watch 1 or 2 games every day. So that's my my passion. So it's sports nuts. It's about building something. It's about creating something, and also giving back to the community and creating a community itself.
The guys that flew over from the States either last night or the day before, and they've been with me all day, so I think it's a really exciting time. Peter Gwyn has done a lot for this club, and he spoke to me before Christmas, and he said, I'm only going to do it, Steve, if we've got the right people. I've had lots of dealings with them over the last few months, and I think Peter's picked and chosen the right people for our club. And I'm really pleased with that. Peter will be over later on in the year, but these guys, you are going to see a lot more of them, I know that. They're going to be over a lot for all the games. We've got the pre-season friendlies, 3 Saturdays in a row, which is great. We're looking for another bumper crowd for the West Ham game. They're bringing the first team squad. It's not going to be a reserve team. They're sending their reserve teams or the under 21s, 23s to Redbridge that day. So we've got the first team. It's going to be a good game. The fixture list comes out for the 10th of July, and the first game is the 10th of August. So let's do a big round of applause. Before everybody